The screen shattered against the wall like my heart, shards of glass exploding across the hardwood floor of our Evanston living room. The kind of sound that echoes in your bones long after the noise fades. "You bastard," I whispered, my voice cracking as I stared at Daniel. His broad shoulders slumped in the armchair, eyes avoiding mine like I was the intruder in our own home. Our son, Jamie, frozen in the doorway with his backpack still slung over one shoulder. 12 years old and already carrying the weight of secrets we never meant to burden him with, until tonight. I'd come home early from the gallery, the autumn chill of Lake Michigan still clinging to my coat, expecting the usual. Daniel's lopsided grin, a kiss that tasted like coffee and forever. Jamie buried in his sketchbook dreaming of architecture school. Instead, the laptop glowed accusingly on the coffee table, the bank app opened to a transfer confirmation. $47,000, every penny of Jamie's college fund, siphoned into some offshore account I didn't recognize. Daniel didn't even flinch when I lunged for it. He just sat there, the man I'd loved for 15 years, the one who'd held me through my coming-out nightmares and whispered promises under Chicago stars, now reduced to a thief in our fairy tale. "Ethan, please," he started. His voice, that low rumble I'd once mistaken for strength, but now it slithered like smoke from a dying fire. I cut him off with a laugh. Bitter, hollow, the kind that hurts your throat. "Please? You gutted our boy's future for what? Another spin at the tables in Vegas? Or was it her? The intern with the fake laugh and the daddy issues." Rumors had swirled at his firm for months. Whispers of late nights that weren't deadlines. Cologne that wasn't his. But this was the knife twist, the betrayal that made our vows feel like scribbles on a napkin. Jamie dropped his backpack with a thud that jolted us both. His eyes, those sharp hazel ones that mirrored mine more than Daniel's, darted between us like he was piecing together a puzzle we'd hidden in plain sight. "Dad? What's going on?" The word "dad" hung there, ambiguous as always in our patchwork family. Daniel and I had fought surrogacy battles, adoption hoops, just to bring him home from a Cleveland orphanage 3 years ago. He'd called us both Dad from day one, a bridge between our worlds. Now that bridge was crumbling. I sank onto the couch, head in hands, the room spinning with the ghosts of better days. Our wedding on the Navy Pier, rainbow flags whipping in the wind. Lazy Sundays in Wrigleyville, Jamie's tiny hand in ours as we cheered the Cubs. Daniel's arms around me after my mom's funeral, promising we'd build something unbreakable. Lies. All of it, dusted with the glitter of what-ifs. "Your other dad," I choked out, gesturing vaguely at Daniel. "He took the money we saved for your college. All of it." Jamie's face crumpled, not in tears, but in that fierce calculation kids have when the world's gone sideways. He was small for 12, all elbows and curiosity, with a mop of curls that defied combs and a mind that devoured books on codes and locks like candy. I caught him once, rigging our garage door with a homemade alarm from scavenged parts, grinning like a mad inventor. "Why?" he asked Daniel, stepping closer, voice steady where mine shattered. Daniel rubbed his jaw, stubble rasping under his fingers, the same fingers that had traced my spine in the dark. "It's complicated, kiddo. The market crashed my investments. Debts from the firm. I was gonna pay it back. Double even." His eyes flicked to me then, pleading. "Ethan, we can fix this. Together. Like always. Together." The word tasted like ash. Our together had been a battlefield from the start. Me, the starving artist turned curator, scraping by on grants and grit. Him, the hotshot financial advisor with a corner office and a gambling itch he swore he'd scratched clean. We'd met at a pride rally in Boys Town, two 20-somethings locking eyes over cheap beer and shared stories of small-town exile. Love like that feels like salvation, raw and redemptive, the kind that makes you believe in second chances. But chances run out and debts, they multiply. Jamie didn't buy it. He crossed to the laptop, his sneakers silent on the glass-strewn floor, and tapped at the keys with a focus that chilled me. "Show me the account," he demanded, and Daniel, God help us, did, rattling off login details like a man confessing sins. I watched, numb, as numbers danced on the screen. Withdrawals to casinos in Atlantic City, a wire to a name I didn't know, Elena Vargas, the intern. My stomach twisted. Not just money stolen, but trust, fidelity. The fragile humanism we'd clung to in a world that still side-eyed two dads raising a brown-eyed boy. That night blurred into accusations and silences. Daniel slept on the couch or pretended to. I lay upstairs, Jamie curled against me like when he was little. His breaths even but his mind a whirlwind. "We'll get it back," he murmured into my shirt. Fist clenched around the fabric. "I know we will." I stroked his hair, whispering assurances I didn't feel. The weight of single-parent fears crashing down. How do you rebuild when the foundations rot? In America, land of dreamers and debtors, we'd bootstrapped everything. My gallery shows funded by side gigs. Daniel's bonuses earmarked for Jamie's future. Now that future was a ghost. Dawn broke gray over Lake Michigan. Fog rolling in like unspoken regrets. Daniel was gone by breakfast. A note on the counter. "Meeting at the office. We'll talk tonight. Love you both." The lie burned. I drove Jamie to school. His silence louder than the radio's classic rock static. "Don't worry, Dad," he said as I idled at the drop-off. Backpack slung like armor. "I've got a plan." Kids say that. Optimistic sparks in the dark. But his eyes held something sharper. A glint I'd seen in old photos of my own father. The union organizer who'd outfoxed corporate sharks in 80s Detroit. The days stretched taut, a high-wire act of normalcy. I buried myself in the gallery, curating a show on queer resilience. Ironic, framing canvases of men embracing amid ruins while my own life unraveled. Daniel came home late, meals tense with small talk that skirted the chasm. "The fun's safe," he'd insist, showing doctored statements, but Jamie's side eyes grew bolder. One evening, as Daniel scrolled his phone, probably texting her, Jamie slid a drawing across the table. A labyrinth of lines, locks, and a central safe marked "Future." "What's this, Picasso?" Daniel chuckled, oblivious. "It's a code," Jamie said flatly. "For getting things back that got taken." Daniel's laugh died, and I saw the flicker. Guilt or fear. That night, after Jamie's bedtime story, a tale of clever foxes and greedy wolves, Daniel pulled me into the kitchen, hands on my hips like old times. "We need to talk about us," he murmured, lips brushing my ear. My body betrayed me for a second, muscle memory of passion. But I shoved him away. "Us? There is no us. You chose roulette over family." His face crumpled, tears tracking down cheeks I'd once kissed dry. "I was scared, Ethan, of failing you both. This life, it's harder than I thought. Two dads, adoption scrutiny, the world's eyes. I just wanted to provide." "Provide?" I hissed. "By lying? By her." The confession spilled then, raw as an open wound. Elena, 6 months of stolen afternoons. A fantasy of escape from our complicated love. He sobbed apologies, vowing therapy, restitution, but words are cheap when trust is currency. I let him hold me that night, a fragile truce born of exhaustion. Our bodies entwined not in fire but in the embers of what was romantic, yes, but laced with the ache of human frailty. In the quiet, I traced the scars on his knuckles from a bar fight in our wilder days, wondering if love was redemption or just repeated forgiveness. But Jamie? He was the storm's eye. The next week, he started projects. Holed up in his room with my old laptop, the one Daniel hadn't touched, borrowing library books on cybersecurity and ethics. I caught glimpses, encrypted chats with online forums, diagrams of phishing traps. "It's like chess, Dad," he explained one afternoon, peanut butter on his chin. "He thinks he's king, but pawns can queen up." His innocence weaponized, pure, unfiltered humanism in a boy's quest to right wrongs. I didn't stop him. Hell, part of me cheered, the artist in me seeing poetry in his rebellion. The climax hit on a Friday, thunder rumbling over the suburbs like divine judgment. Daniel burst through the door at 7 p.m., face ashen. "Ty askew. Jamie, what the hell did you do?" Our son sat at the dining table, cool as lake ice, the laptop open to a live feed. Daniel's offshore account, funds reversing in real time, a digital heist unfolding. "You hacked me?" Daniel roared, lunging forward, but I stepped between, heart pounding. "Back off. Now." Jamie didn't flinch. "I didn't hack. I borrowed your phone last week. Cloned the Authenticator app. Then I set up a script. It's like a reverse transfer, but with a twist. His voice trembled just a hair, but pride lit his eyes. The screen showed it, $47,000 flowing back, plus $5,000 in interest. Winnings from a dummy casino account Jamie had mirrored, using Daniel's own gambling patterns against him. Outsmarted by a 12-year-old with a Khan Academy coding badge and a grudge wrapped in love. You taught me numbers, Dad. Daniel. But Ethan taught me justice. Daniel collapsed into a chair, head in hands, sobs racking his frame. I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry. The room thickened with it, betrayal's aftershock, the raw emotion of a family teetering on fracture. I knelt by Jamie, pulling him close, our tears mingling. You saved us, kiddo. More than money. In that moment, romance flickered. Not the stolen kind, but the deep, humanistic bond of chosen kin, forged in fire. We didn't call the cops. Daniel checked into rehab the next day, a glassy-eyed goodbye at the airport, his hand lingering on mine. Fix yourself, I said, voice steady for the first time. Then maybe. Talk. He nodded, eyes haunted, and boarded the flight to a Nevada clinic, leaving us with the fund intact and a house quieter, but not empty. Months later, spring thawed Evanston's chill. Jamie's sketches filled the fridge, dreams of college now funded and fierce. Daniel wrote letters, sporadic, penitent, promising change, no mentions of her or the itch. I dated tentatively, a barista with kind eyes and no secrets, but my heart lingered on the what-ifs, the romantic ache of love's imperfection. One evening, as Jamie and I walked the lakeshore, pebbles crunching underfoot, he asked, "Will he come back?" "Maybe," I said, squeezing his hand. "But we're whole without him. You showed me that." The sun dipped low, painting the water gold, a canvas of second chances. In America, where dreams die and resurrect daily, we'd turned the tables. Not on revenge, but on grace. Betrayal had cracked us open, but from the shards, something human bloomed. A boy outsmarting shadows, two dads learning forgiveness's sharp edge, and a love story rewritten in quiet victories.